I'm Dan Feldman. I'm a professor in the Department of Public Management here at John Jay College. And I teach mostly in what we call the inspection and oversight track of the Master of Public Administration program. That is, most MPA programs focus on public policy and administration. And we have one track that does just that. But we also have a second track, which is very unusual, in which students focus on oversight and inspection. That means the watchdog role, so that these are students who are trained to identify and expose misbehavior or inefficiency in government agencies. I started teaching full-time at John Jay in 2010, but I started teaching administrative law here at John Jay as an adjunct professor in 1977. I think there are three general areas of research that have been my focus. I've written about the various kinds of mechanisms of oversight in the United States. In recent years I've been especially focused on the Inspector General role, and of course here at John Jay, our MPA program has the benefit of having the national headquarters of the Association of Inspectors General 50 feet from my office, across the hall. So students who are in that program have the benefit of having contact with people who are doing that kind of work. Secondly, as I said, administrative law. I've been teaching that and writing about that for many years. Sage Publications published my administrative law book in 2016 called Administrative Law, The Sources and Limits of Government Agency Power. But I'm now working with three co-authors on a book for West Publishing Company, a new administrative law book called Learning Administrative Law, which we expect will be published in 2025. So that's another area of research interest. The third area is legal philosophy. In February, I was awarded my Ph.D. in philosophy, but my dissertation subject was legal philosophy, and a particular aspect of legal philosophy. And I argue, and I continue to argue, that the legal philosophy of a fellow named Lon Fuller, who was the leading American legal philosopher in the 1950s, so we're not using law to get to something else, we're staying true to law itself. Ronald Dworkin both reflected and strengthened the political philosophy of the Warren Court by transforming it into a legal philosophy. But his legal philosophy pretty much tracked liberal democratic politics. Fuller says, essentially, you should not be imposing any ideology on the law. The only moral principles that judges should look to have substantiated or have incarnated in the law are those internal to law. So the internal morality of law. So that, for example, if your statutes are inconsistent, unclear, not publicized, change from day to day, it's not only immoral, it's also not law. You can't obey such laws, or there's certainly no incentive to obey them. So these are not moral principles that are outside of law. These are moral principles that are intrinsic to the law itself. It is my hope that these ideas will gradually percolate into the consciousness, at least of the legal community, so that at some point in the future, somebody may be ready to say, maybe we've been approaching these legal decisions the wrong way, and maybe the Fuller legal philosophy, or at least my reconstruction of Fuller's legal philosophy, is a better guide for us in terms of how to make judicial decisions. So frankly, I have very little hope that it'll take place even in my lifetime, but perhaps sometime long after I'm gone, it'll have its effect. The biggest disappointment for me would be if this dissertation, if I know some people have read it, but if a few people read it and then it drops, sinks like a stone and nobody ever hears about it again. So if any of my colleagues or students do read it, talk about it. Even if you argue with it, even if you disagree with it, talk about it. I just want these ideas to come into the larger public, and especially the legal community.